spirit rests in you and there's no resistance. And when that spirit dwells in you, okay, that is the unclean spirit that's locked in an incestuous, adulterous relationship with the reptilian. And there's no resistance. It's living through you with no resistance. Okay? You will come unto the judgment of Jehovah, the sowing and reaping judgment. Nothing good can come out of you. And I hope this is God. If not, it's just an example. And when that body dies, you will lose the opportunity to incarnate in Israel. And if you incarnate in someone that's not in Israel, then you don't have any chance at all, okay, of staying permanently in the flesh. The goal is to stay permanently in the flesh. The goal is to not lose your body. Do it now, and then when the body dies, you'll be able to incarnate in a positive position in another Israelite in the next, and hopefully you'll be incarnate in the age when Adam is all gathered together into one place and the physical bodies that he's dwelling in become permanent. That's only happening in Israel. Sheila, what are you talking about? Listen. That's only happening in Israel. It doesn't matter if you're incarnate, if you're a primordial king and you're incarnate in any place, in any ethnicity, any race, any color in the world. It doesn't matter. Your only opportunity, the only possibility that you might inherit a human vessel that will never die. Got that? Your only possibility that you might incarnate in a human vessel that doesn't die, that you're not going to, because every time the body dies, you die with it, and you start again as a little baby. Your only possibility of being in the right place at the right time is that you're incarnate in an Israelite. Where Christ comes in, where the Lord Jesus comes in, who was already tied to the eternal worlds, and is swallowing up the branches that are broken off. He's not swallowing up the branches of the Hindus. He's not swallowing up the branches of the Swahili religion, whatever that is. He's only swallowing up the branches, the primordial kings that are in Israelites, because the last Adam will only incarnate in Israelites. The last Adam, that one which is doing the swallowing up, that one which is saving you, is only incarnate in Israelites. So you're incarnate, you can be incarnating for the rest of eternity. You will never ever inherit a permanent body unless you incarnate in Israel, because that's the only place that I am.
Wow.
Got it? So when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through places where there's no energy. And he seeks another body to rest in. And he can't find a body to rest in. So he says, I will return to my house that I came out of. He wants to come back to Israel, you see. And my loose alternate translation was, when the impure spirit goes out of the first Adam, it walks through places where there is no energy of the soul, no energy of the spirit, seeking a place of seventh-day rest, which is only in Israel. Because the only rest is the body that Christ enters into to meet you. I will meet you between the cherubim. I will meet you between the cherubim, the mercy seat between the cherubim. You are the primordial king. You are the cherubim inside the box. You're inside a box that the higher cherubim never descends into. You have no chance of keeping that body alive. That's the judgment of limbo. That's what I'm hearing right now. That's the judgment of limbo. Okay? You go into dry places. Okay? You will only be able to incarnate in human vessels where the energy of the Lord Jesus Christ never goes. Dry places, human vessels where the water or the energy of the Lord Jesus Christ goes. Wow. What a judgment. Eternal, unending incarnation in vessels where there's no hope, with making contact with the higher angel. Talk about hell, brethren. Vessels where you only experience the sowing and reaping judgment and never ascend out of that place. That's what Buddhism teaches. That's what Hinduism teaches. I don't know if that's what it teaches, but that's the reality of Buddhist, Hindu, and all other forms of reincarnation. That unclean spirit enters into dry places, places where the energy of the Lord Jesus Christ does not exist. And they experience what they sow. So if they yield to their evil inclinations, if they incarnate in a vessel, okay, where they're continuously fornicating with the unclean spirit and her reptilian consort, they are continuously having painful experiences in the flesh, which are the judgments for their sins, and there's no forgiveness for their sins. A place of continuous pain. That's for the soul. That's for Adam's soul part, and you and I are his skin. So we have recourse though. We can say no. We can say no to the one in the unconscious part of our mind that's influencing us. We can choose to believe the doctrine of God. Anything for him to latch onto, he can only latch onto his own relative. And the blood is not, and only the blood is his relative. The spirit is not his relative. Has to have the blood. See? Dry places, human vessels, where the Spirit of the Lord Jesus Christ is not. Your only hope of escape from hell, the Lord Jesus Christ. The ladder, the attachment to the firmament, the attachment to the kingdom of heaven, the Lord Jesus Christ. You can only incarnate in vessels where he is not. Dry places. Does that mean there's no energy in those places? No, it doesn't mean that. It means the kind of energy that you need is not there. You need to understand the spiritual language. You read in the Torah, and the brothers put Joseph down in the pit, and there was nothing in the pit. It was an empty pit. You read in the Zohar, and it says, oh, there was water in the pit, there was serpents in the pit, there were scorpions in the pit. God's only talking about his spirit. There was all kinds of nightmares in that pit, but Joseph was there without God's spirit. See? Dry places are not without energy. They're places without the energy of the morning. No hope of escape. So that's your primordial king. But you are that primordial king for the lifetime that you exist. You are that primordial king. And God has given you the opportunity to say no. You are Balaam's ass. You can say no. You can't say no until you look. You look what's trying to destroy you in the eye. The lying doctrine, the seductive motive, the lying justification that it's okay. You can only say no when you recognize it for what it is. And you cannot recognize it for what it is when it's upon you. When it's upon you, it consumes you. You have to have your eye on it. You have to be watching it before it even speaks. Don't you even think about it. You must look into the unconscious part of your mind if you want to go on. You must face who you are.